If you've been looking at the Godforge Discord, as you guys know, there is a massive innovative and suggestion area for you guys. And I'm going to put the Discord down in the description down below. If you're not a part of it, it is growing so big. It's kind of crazy, right? But what we're going to do in today is go through a suggestion that I personally am going to make. But I thought making a video would do a lot more justice than a text box, right? So what I am going to provide here is a brand new game mode for Godforge. It's an alliance/guild game mode. You can see at the top, PvEVP, meaning you're going to be doing PvE content, but the consequences of what you're able to do is going to result in a PvP ladder, and it will make perfect sense as we go down the line, right? So if we just hide myself here so you guys can see what's on screen properly, we've got a nice little race against other alliances to get deeper in the mode, choosing a main or side area. And what we're going to be doing and naming this game mode, as I said in the title, if you've read it and kind of got a little bit of a vibe from it, Branches of Yggdrasil. So as you guys kind of know through Norse mythology, Yggdrasil tree is the world tree. It's kind of like the tree of everything. Even Odin spends so much time in the tree to try and understand the knowledge and all of the future, and that's kind of what turns him kind of corrupted in the Norse mythology storyline, which is really cool. And what we're going to be doing is kind of doing the same thing as an alliance. And what I was trying to do with game mode is solve a couple of issues where players want to play a social mode together, but everyone is never included. So what this is doing is getting everyone in the alliance to participate, and by doing that as an alliance, you're going to be competing against other alliances or guilds, right, in Godforge to get rewards. And the real cool way of doing this is basically you're going to be setting up a main team, and the main team might be considered the spenders, right? So every alliance, every game does have them, and that's kind of why I've kind of set it up in this way, where the main team might be the strongest player, right? It could be the pros, if you imagine like playing a World of Warcraft raid. All of those guys will be in this raid team, and what they're going to be doing is clearing the main objectives of this story, of this game mode, right? The side teams is basically anyone else in the alliance, and what you're going to be able to do is basically, as the main team clears the main objectives through extra side content unlocked. So you can imagine traveling up the trunk of the Yggdrasil tree and kind of then exploring all these different branches that are coming off. That's kind of what you're doing as the side team. So I've kind of tried to keep a little bit of flavor involved, right, as we're going through into this. But what we're going to do is go to another screenshot here, and it's going to explain it a lot better when it comes to what you're able to do in this game mode. So in theory, this game mode could be an infinite repeatable game mode. That's kind of why I've got the repeat at the top, because it will make sense to a lot of developers. Kind of what they're seeing here is almost a flow tree of how you would go from objective to objective in this game mode, right? So what I would perceive and what I think would be really cool is like every team, so your main team could be made up of 15, 20, 30 players. Depends how big the guilds are, right? So depending on how big the guilds are, it determines how big the main team is. And what you would do is objective one, whoever is the leader of the main team, they do, stage one. So they complete the first stage. Once they've completed it, it goes to stage two. It'd be moved down to the next player. So each player within that main team has to know what they're doing, right? So they have to learn the game, play the game, and complete their individual stage. And obviously, as it gets to the end and you've completed 15 stages for a team of 15, all that would happen is it'll go back to the leader. And what you're trying to do as the main team, and this is where a lot of the bulk points is going to come from as the ranking side of things, is complete these main objectives and just keep going as deep as you can. And it will scale with HP, harder bosses, more mechanics potentially, like debuffs, like a roguelike, to make it harder and harder. And again, all the alliances are going to be racing against each other to try and get up there. So when you're doing that, right, you've got team two, and your team two guys, so this could be anyone else. So imagine you had a 200-man alliance, right? all 170 members can participate in the side objectives. These are just kind of little modes, a little arena side where if you complete this, you will get a small portion of points, only a very small portion compared to the main objectives. However, you can keep playing them. That's the beautiful thing. The main objectives are one-time limited, so they keep progressing up and getting harder, but the side objectives are replayable. And what I think which is good is no matter what power you are at as a player, you can be in a team, again, similar to like the main teams. It might be 5 players, or this could be an individual activity. Who knows? It's up to you how you design it. But what the side objectives allow players to do, no matter what power level they're at, there's always going to be a side objective at their stage, right? So if you're only at 10 million power, you might be at side stage 2-1. But maybe you're at 40 million power and you might be at like side stage 10, for example, right? You might be 60 million power and you might be at side stage 15. And the cool thing is those stages are going to grant rewards to those players that are doing them for their account for what they need to actually progress and get obviously higher up in power to tackle the content. And I think it's a really cool way of getting everyone involved, right? And the competitive side of it all now kind of hopefully makes sense because it is down to, in this time period on this event that comes, it's down to your alliance activity. Can your main team push through the hard objectives to get these juicy percentages points, right, through the side objectives? And can your other members that are playing the game in your alliance jump on and start emptying up all of their energy pots in these areas to get as many points as you can, right? So that's kind of the way I want this whole game mode to work. I'm going to do one more kind of slide, if you want to say it. It's going to be a live drawn slide on kind of explaining a bit more on the competitive side. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. This is kind of like my alliance game mode, right? Branches of Yggdrasil. I hope you've enjoyed it so far and you understand the concept of what I'm trying to perceive here. So let's move on. So this is going to be a nice little live area where we get to squiggle and have a little bit of fun together in this concept. So to finish off the video and kind of make it all whole, there's probably a few questions you guys are probably asking. What are these events? What are these objectives that you're going to be doing, right? So the way I kind of see this working personally, and where it wouldn't put too much burden as well, even on the design team to try and create more new stuff, I would basically bring this out later down the line, maybe after a season or 2 seasons in the game, and you basically have, you know, a nice list of raids. So if you've got some raids here, right, if you just type raids, right, if you've got like a Cthulhu one, you know, all these different kind of bosses, so if you've got some of the iconic raids and, you know, storyline content when you're fighting a Hydra, you're fighting a Kraken, you're fighting a Chimera, right? You're fighting all these interesting bosses that you already have. The way these main objectives would be is just take those. You're going to be taking those objectives, ramping them down to the lowest difficulty, and then making it obviously just increase in difficulty as you go up, right? The way you want to kind of have the point structure, the way I would personally have it, again, draw a nice little line here so we can split them up. Your main, so if we type in the main objective, so we'll just type in MA, because we haven't got, do you know what? We can main, put a little I there, and we'll put side for you guys, right? So boom, boom. Ignore the mouse skills. I am not, you know, Da Vinci. I'm sorry, I did not take pen school at university, right? We're not good with the mouse. If I had a drawing pen, a little bit different, right? But the way I would work the point system in this is pretty easy. So for hypothetical, if objective 1 was worth 20 points, right? The side objectives 1-1 and 1-2, because you can make 2 different fun game side missions that are still mini raids or mini modes that you do, they would be worth something like 5 points or maybe even 3 points. You know what I mean? Something that you're going to be playing it over and over and over and over and again, that you know it is going to get more points over the main objective over time, but that's kind of the aim. But the thing is, when you go up the next main objective, it would be like 40 points. Do you know what I'm saying? So then this would go to something again like maybe 6 and 4, right? And then this goes up to 60, and then this goes all the way up to 7 and 5. So you can see kind of how this is working out now, but no matter what, the main one is over time as a bang for your buck gonna give you the most points, because as you can imagine, players might get to like floor 50, floor 60, floor 70, floor 80, whatever, right? And the main objective might be granting you like 2,000 points, and the side objective is still only granting you something like, you know, say 50 maximum to the top of like 30. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can see how crazy this is, but the side objectives are so replayable. The rewards, the extra points are gonna matter, right? So that's like, I think, a lot of the main things I would answer if I've got any other, you know, things when it comes to this game mode. Especially, again, team sizing, it all is dependent on how big guilds are. I'm just kind of work with rough numbers. So again, you know, you could have like a 200-man alliance. With that 200-man alliance, you could have maybe a main team of 50 players, right? And then 150 of the other players that aren't in the main team are in the side team. So again, everyone gets to kind of participate in this, and it's all down to a social experience, right? So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. This has been me, MrSneakyy. This has been me showcasing here the different types of, you know, game modes I'm talking about, the Alliance game mode, PvEVP style kind of competitive race event, which is kind of cool. Hope you've enjoyed it, and tell me your thoughts down below if you found it interesting, or if you found some of the game ideas or concepts, you know, again, interesting, but you could take it down a different route. I'd love to hear, again, your comments down below. So until the next video, guys, you know what to do. Smash a like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.